Check, check. Kindly maintain silence as our dignitaries are about to enter. Kindly stand for our dignitaries. Kindly remain seated. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Robert Swan. A very good afternoon to one and all present. It is my honor and privilege to extend a warm welcome to our principal, Reverend Father Norman Pereira SJ, Vice Principal, Mr. Brian McCurtish, Primary School Administrator, Reverend Father Paul Anand SJ, Father Michael John, SIR and CEIF Founder, Vijay Nazareth, members of the OBA, PTA Vice President, Mr. Biju Varghese, PTA Secretary, Ms. Madhuri, other members of the PTA, our esteemed judges, teachers, and all SIL participants that have gathered here today. After months of perseverance, hard work, and dedication to finding sustainable and innovative solutions to social and environmental issues, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the final presentations for the Social Innovation Lab for the year 2025. I am Nia, and I am one of your SIL coordinators for the year, along with Sugandha and Ria. Siddharth, Anvita and I will be your MCs for today. Now, I would like to invite Siddharth Vadot to lead us into prayer.
As we begin our session, let's take a moment for a short prayer. I request all of you to take a prayerful posture. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today to celebrate the hard work, creativity, and dedication of these young minds. Bless the students whose hard work and vision aim to build a world that is more inclusive, humane, and environmentally conscious. May their ideas inspire hope and their efforts bring meaningful change to our communities and our planet. Grant them confidence as they present their work, wisdom to learn from every experience, and courage to continue making a difference beyond today. We ask for your guidance and grace throughout the event, that it may be filled with learning, gratitude, and inspiration. Amen.
The Social Innovation Lab was established in 2015 as an initiative of St. Joseph's Boys High School to promote sustainability and social responsibility among students. Social Innovation Lab, or SIL, is a unique initiative designed not just as a competition, but as a platform to empower students to become change makers. In a world facing urgent challenges from climate change to health inequity, food waste to gender rights, the need for young, bold, and creative voices has never been greater. SIL isn't just about solving problems. It's about giving students the tools to lead, collaborate, and make a tangible difference. It's a space for students to turn their ideas into real-world solutions that uplift communities and leave a lasting impact. I would now like to invite Vijay Nazareth, the visionary behind SIL, to the dais to address everyone present here.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I want to take a moment to acknowledge the school and all the support we received. Father Norwin, Ms. Vaselia, Mr. Robin, Mrs. Gowrie, who's not here, but she was instrumental in helping us get the SIL off the ground. And I still remember that day very well, over 10 years ago when we came and we presented the idea to the school. And we got that funny look, why do we need something new? And we were trying to promote greater social awareness and problem solving and critical thinking skills. And Mrs. Gowrie is the one who really sold it to the principal and said we ought to try this. And so we got it off the ground. I've always been a big believer that to whom much is given, much is expected. And I can't say that I appreciated this when I was a student myself. I took it for granted. But once I left school and went into the real world, I thought back and I said, wow, am I so lucky to have attended St. Joseph's? What a privilege. And I look back on my teachers and everyone else who supported us back in the day, and I said they gave so much to us, we ought to give something back. So that was definitely a big part of getting the SIL off the ground. Our team at the SIL has done an amazing job. So we've got a couple of the original founders here, Senthil Radhakrishnan and Vijay Alphonse. You remember that day well when we came and we got it off the ground. And Sugandha, Nia, and Ria have done an absolutely fantastic job this year. Sugandha is just an amazing leader. I wish I could offer her a job today before she gets out of college, before somebody else takes her, because boy, she's got it all figured out. We have a really, really great team, and I'll give you some of the names, and I certainly can't mention all of them, but Roshni, Liana, Yuvika, Ramya, Gilbert, Nina, and the list goes on and on. And it's not about me anymore, it's about the student leaders. They're the ones who run the program. They only come to me when they need advice or guidance. So we're very, very fortunate to have such a wonderful team behind us. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about teamwork, relationship building, and trust. And I want to go back to being a student myself and running the 4x100 meter relay at Sports Day. And I was running the anchor leg. And it was exhilarating, it was exciting, but it was certainly very stressful as well, because I felt if I dropped the baton, I'd be letting my teammates down. So I was like, wow, what if we're in the lead going into the fourth leg? And Vijay drops the baton. How am I going to face my teammates after the event? But it just kind of sent me a message that if you have a great relationship with your teammates and you trust in each other, everything's going to be fine. You don't have to worry about, win or lose, right? You're all in it together. So that was a really important lesson I took away in life. You all succeed together and you fail together. So trust in your teammates, and that's going to be a great example for you in today's presentations, right? And I hope you enjoyed working on the projects together. I also think, things like kindness and empathy and lifting people up is just as important. As Josephites, that's fundamental to our values and who we are. It's not about ourselves. It's what we do for others. And others doesn't have to be somebody, out on the street or someone with disabilities. It could be your friends, your neighbors, and people you talk to every day who may be facing problems and challenges in their lives. Just be there for them. Talk to them, listen to them. Find out how they're doing. Cheer them up, right? Let them know that there's a friend around they could talk to. So that's also part of what the SIL is about, caring for each other, lifting each other up, being empathetic. So anyway, I won't go on, but I want to again thank all of you for the opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed working on the projects, and I'm really excited to see your presentations today. So thanks, and wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those inspiring words. Now I'd like to invite Father Novin Pereira, our principal, Mr. Brian McCurtish, our vice principal, and Father Paul Anand, our primary administrator, to felicitate Mr. Vijay.
Hi guys, I'll be introducing the judges for today. Mr. M.D. Ramaswamy is a Bengaluru-based entrepreneur and ecosystem builder with a unique journey spanning corporate leadership, startup creation, and community-driven innovation. He is now channeling his efforts into advancing India's AI setup ecosystem through AI Pod, a leading thought leadership platform centered around artificial intelligence. He founded Siltex, one of India's pioneering customer interaction analytics firms, serving top telecom, BFSI, and technology enterprises. Prior to that, he served as the first managing director of Dell International Services in India, an alumnus of IIT Madras and Michigan State University. Mr. Ramaswamy's work bridges deep execution capability with a long-term vision to make India a global hub for AI innovation.
Dr. A. Chitra Andrade is a distinguished expert in neuropsychology, leadership development, and organizational learning, with over 25 years of experience across academia, corporate leadership, and consulting. She holds a PhD in clinical neuropsychology from NIMHANS and has taught psychology, organizational behavior, HR management, and leadership at the graduate and postgraduate levels. Dr. Andrade is an accomplished author with a book on adult learning and more than 30 research papers published in reputed national and international journals. Her corporate journey includes senior leadership roles at IBM and Bosch India, where she led leadership development initiatives, mentored emerging leaders, and fostered organizational ability. Dr. Andrade has contributed significantly to education and leadership by managing the Center for Teaching and Learning at IIM Bangalore, pioneering case writing programs. Dr. Chitra Andrade continues to inspire professionals and students alike through her work in advancing education and organizational growth.
Vijay Alphonse is from the class of 1990. He went on to graduate in hotel management from IHM Bangalore and has thereafter worked his way through several leadership roles in companies like IBM, Xerox, and Firstsource. He is currently a partner at Ernst & Young and runs the financial crimes compliance practice. His daughter is also a proud Josephied IAC graduate. Vijay has always been very closely involved with the Innovation Lab over the years, and he says he's always very excited to be here and always grateful for the privilege of having been part of this esteemed institution. I would now like to invite the Principal, Father Reverend Novin Pereira, SJ, Vice Principal Brian McCurtish, and Primary School Administrator Reverend Father Paul Anands to felicitate the judges. Dr. Chitra Andrade, please accept a token of our appreciation. Mr. M.D. Ramaswamy, please accept a token of our appreciation. Mr. Vijay Alphonse, please accept a token of our appreciation.
I would now like to invite the Principal, Reverend Father Novin Pereira, SJ, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon. At the outset, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the entire team for initiating this process. First of all, Mr. Vijay Nazareth, I invite you to kindly stand along with other founders, maybe Mr. Senthil and Mr. Vijay Alphonse. I think the founders had a great vision 10 years ago, and we are bearing the fruit, and we have a long way to go. Thank you for the vision. Thank you for showing us the way. Let's give them once again a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. And also I would like to take this opportunity to thank the teacher in charges. Please come forward, because they have been working throughout. Miss Vasilia, Miss Kushali, Miss Jacqueline, Miss Sanjana Krishil. Thank you for all the efforts, background work, and inspiring the students to become part of this. So thank you. And all the teams and all the old students. Suppose we have Ria, then who else? Please come forward. Pass out students. Ria, Mia, no? Nia, yes. Sugandha. Please come forward. So thank you. And the 6 teams, those who took up the projects this year, kindly stand, all the 6 teams. Those of you worked on different projects. I think it was not easy, but you have taken up and worked very hard, and we encourage you, we inspire, we thank you for taking up these projects. Thank you, please be seated. So dear students, SIL has a special place at SJBHS. In our school ecosystem, Social Innovation Lab is a special space created for students to develop the skills of problem solving, critical thinking, reflection, analysis, and to think outside the box with the perspective of the society, sustainability, and creativity. I'm very happy to be standing here and interacting with you on this topic. And we will be having a lot of discussions today how to take this process forward. And I'm sure we have plenty to achieve in the days to come. And as far as I am concerned, I would like to continue patronizing this project and bear more success, especially for you all as students, to take it forward. Now these 6 teams, I invite each team not to stop today here, but to go forward, work on your projects, take it forward, and come out with new reflections, new analysis, new contributions to the society. So this is my vision for you. God bless you, and thank you one and all.
Thank you, Father, for your inspiring and encouraging words. Before we move on to the presentation, here are a couple of general instructions. The teams will be given 1 minute to set up on stage, including mic checks, positionings, etc. All teams will be given a total of 15 minutes for their presentation, which includes 12 minutes for the actual presentation and 3 minutes are reserved for questions from the judges. Teams are advised to keep their content strictly within the 12-minute limit. Points will be deducted if the time limit is exceeded by more than 1 minute. Teams will be alerted 1 minute before the 12-minute mark and again if the time limit is exceeded. This is to be noted, the use of profanity or abusive language is strictly prohibited, even in skits or role plays, if any. A judge will be allowed to ask 1 question to the team. The audience is requested to maintain decorum throughout. Grading is based on originality, creativity, rigor of research, team participation, plan of implementation, and time management. After much waiting, we have finally arrived to the most anticipated part of today's event, the presentations. I would now like to invite Team 1 on the stage to present their solutions on the topics chosen by them.
Hello.
Please mic up. Please it up. Please it up.
I'll use this. Another sale, another trend. New week, new wardrobe. Because clearly, last week's must-have wasn't enough. But here's the question. When our clothes fall out of fashion, where do they actually go? Each fabric has a journey, from seed to stitch, from hands that craft to hangers that display. Yet, most of these journeys end early, in landfills, not closets. Fast fashion moves fast, too fast. It gives us instant style, but also long-term waste. But what if the story didn't have to end there? What if out of style could become in for a new purpose? Sustainability doesn't mean saying goodbye to fashion. It means saying hello to smarter choices. Because real style isn't about owning more, it's about caring more. The tag shows the price, but the planet pays the cost. So maybe, just maybe, it's time we make fashion last longer than the trends. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected judges, dignitary, and my fellow Josephites. I hope you guys enjoy that comic of ours, which basically highlights the problem we are tackling. Before we dive into the presentation, I'd like to introduce the team. Chirag, Isha, Ahana, Ajit, Zach, and myself are the team. We are Team 1. Now I will be introducing the problem in hand. Let's be honest, fashion just isn't about what we wear. It's about how we express ourselves, show confidence, and connect with trends. But the truth is, the industry that makes us look good is quietly doing a lot of harm behind the scenes. Think about how quickly trends come and go. One week it's oversized hoodies, the next it's cargo pants. And brands are racing to keep producing new collections every week, instead of a few times a year. That constant rush leads to overproduction, cheap material, and waste on a massive scale. A huge part of what's made never ever gets sold. It's either dumped, burnt, or stored away. Now let's talk about what it takes to make those clothes. Cotton farming uses enormous amounts of water and pesticides, damaging the soil and surrounding communities. Then there's polyester, which is made from plastic. Every time we wash a polyester shirt, tiny bits of plastics called microfibers escape into our rivers and oceans. Scientists have even found that inside of fishes and sea salt. So something as ordinary as doing laundry becomes part of a global pollution chain. And then there's what happens after we're done wearing something. Most of us donate or throw away old clothes, thinking they'll be reused, but in reality, only a small fraction actually are. The rest pile up in landfills or get shipped to developing countries, where mountains of unwanted clothing are left to rot or burn. But this isn't only an environmental issue, it's a human one. To keep prices low, many brands rely on factories where workers are underpaid and overworked, often in unsafe conditions. So while a t-shirt might cost a few hundred rupees, the real price is paid by someone else, somewhere far away. All of this points to one thing: fashion has become disposable. It's designed to move fast and fade fast, and that's the heart of the problem. When clothes are treated like they don't matter, the planet and people who make them don't matter either. If we want a better future, we can't just change what we wear. We have to change what fashion means.
With our chosen topic, we have devised 3 simple and realistic solutions: awareness, alternative materials, and thrifting. I'll be addressing awareness. The fashion industry is one of the most harmful sectors to our planet. It produces over 100 billion garments every single year, most of which are worn only a few times just before being thrown away. This constant cycle of producing and disposal makes fashion responsible for around 10% of all global carbon emissions, more than all international flights and shipping combined. Producing just one cotton t-shirt can take up to about 2,700 liters of water, and textile dyeing contributes to about 20% of global wastewater. It's not just environmental problems, it's also human. Millions of garment workers, mostly women, work long hours for low wages, often in unsafe factories. Cheap, fast fashion has a hidden cost that most people will never see. That is why awareness matters, not as a problem, but as a part of the solution. When people know the impact of what they buy, they begin to make different choices. Awareness changes behavior. It leads to buying less, choosing second-hand fashion, supporting ethical brands, and demanding better from the industry. To see how informed people are, we conducted a survey in our school. Less than 50% of our students knew the consequences of fashion on the environment and social. That is concerning because our generation has grown up learning about sustainability. Even if we aren't aware, the system won't change. So spreading awareness isn't just about education. It's about creating accountability. The more people understand the true cost of fashion, the more pressure there is for real change. Awareness is the foundation of action and the first step towards a sustainable future.
Now I will be focusing on alternative materials. So traditional materials like cotton and polyesters consume massive amounts of energy as well as a lot of water. Alternative materials use lesser fertilizers, less water, less area than cotton, as well as less energy. Alternative materials don't just directly affect reducing pollution, but also help in energy efficiency as well as saving large amounts of water, which is very important for the fashion industry. Now, a main question arises: if alternative materials is the way to go, then why isn't every player in the industry right now shifting to these materials? Well, the main problem in this comes from industry inertia, which basically means difficulty in changing existing systems. Most corporations and companies in the fashion industry right now try to solve this through sustainability. What they try to do is to add eco-friendly materials like eco-friendly materials as an element into their already existing garments and pieces. What we at Daylight plan to do is to make alternative materials which are eco-friendly as the main basis, as the main core of what we do. The precedent for this can be taken from the automobile industry, like when traditional car makers only tried to green their already existing petrol models. Tesla, in this scenario, redefined of what we think of the place of EVs in the automobile industry. And that is exactly what we plan to do in the fashion industry, that is to redefine and to revolutionize the place of alternative materials in the fashion industry, starting in India and starting in our Bangalore. Thank you.
At Daylight Inc., our aim
is to make fashion more sustainable and accessible. And one of the key ways we are doing that is through thrifting. Every year, billions of clothes in great condition end up in landfills, and an even greater number unused in our wardrobes, all while people continue buying new ones. We saw an opportunity to change that by making thrifting not just eco-friendly, but convenient, reliable, and desirable. Our thrift platform allows users to buy and sell used clothing with ease. Each seller and buyer is verified and the items checked for quality, ensuring second-hand feels brand new. To make transactions safer, we have integrated an escrow system, meaning payments are held until all security parameters are met. This solves one of the biggest issues in a peer-to-peer market. We are also working to make thrifting as effortless as regular e-commerce, with simplified streamlined processes and an intuitive interface. For our pilot project in Bangalore, we are exploring various different delivery systems and creating and trying various standard operating procedures to identify what works best in terms of cost, speed, and sustainability. Our mission here at Daylight is to change how fashion is viewed.
At the end of the day, sustainable fashion isn't just about what we wear. It's about what we stand for. It's about realizing that our choices, even something as simple as a t-shirt, can shape the world we live in. When we choose thrifted pieces, when we support natural fabrics like hemp, or when we simply buy less, we're already making a difference. Sustainability is about being aware of your surroundings, knowing how your clothes are made, and understanding how a single piece of clothing may cause more harm than it looks like. So let's make fashion something more than just fast trends and new collections. Let's make it meaningful. Because true style isn't just about how we look. It's about the story we choose to tell through what we wear. Thank you.
Nice job. Very nicely done. Thank you for that. Question I have is that you talked about alternative materials. What are they and how expensive are they compared to what we get today?
Well, sir, there are various different various materials, but what we are planning on doing is first taking hemp. So now, hemp as a fiber has been used since ages. But the thing is, it's not very common in clothing, like not much of us use it for clothing. And so, since it's already used in industrial applications and it's already cultivated widely, the cost wouldn't be much higher compared to cotton. It'll roughly be in the same ballpark as cotton clothes. It won't be much more expensive than cotton. Yeah.
How has your shopping behavior changed after working on this project, if it's changed at all?
So we've been more conscious with our thoughts when it comes to fashion. We've had a more in-depth outlook towards everything.
Can you give me a specific example?
Well, to be honest, actually, like us, we do not usually buy clothes because we do not like shopping per se. But for example, buying accessories and stuff, now what we are doing is, we are a little more mindful with what we buy, and to be honest, it's not more about buying more, because we never used to buy more, but I'm more mindful about what I buy and how it is sourced. I become more mindful on that. For example, I bought a new cloth. I tried hemp for the first time recently. Yeah, it's pretty good. This is why I'm trying to use it.
You don't use hemp in that context.
Yeah, that's not right.
Thank you, Team 1, for that wonderful presentation. I would now like to invite Team 4 on stage to present their solutions on the topics chosen by them.
computer finds out everything. Windows problems, the computer finds out everything. Wait, my bag. Yeah, keep it back. Wait, do you have any hand? Is it on? Bring it. Sit down.
Check, check. Why do it manual when you can do it automatic? Good afternoon, everyone. Today we at Team AgriFly will be presenting our project, a crop dusting aerial drone. Agriculture is the backbone of the Indian economy. We hear this oftentimes, but what does it truly mean? This means that farmers, we're very dependent on farmers. Yes, every one of us owes our life sustenance to farmers. But unfortunately, farming techniques have not kept up with technology. What does this mean? This means that farmers have to use heavy machinery in vast, areas of land when doing manual crop dusting. Manual crop dusting is not efficient. It exposes farmers to chemicals. It also results in uneven crop dusting. This means that sometimes crop will have too much pesticide and other times just not enough. This could lead to either crop damage or infestation. We believe that the solution to this problem is an aerial-based drone system. It's even, efficient, effective, and safe. Our goal is to make farming not just easy, but also safe.
In many farms today, pesticides are still sprayed manually. It seems simple, but the consequences are quite serious. First, the spraying is uneven. By hand, every pass is different. Some parts of the field get too much chemical, which harms crops and wastes money, while other parts get too little, allowing pests to survive. Second, Spraying requires a lot of labor. With rising labor shortages, farmers often end up doing the work themselves, carrying heavy tanks in the heat for hours. It's not efficient and it's physically draining. But the most concerning issue is the health risks. When farmers spray manually, they breathe the chemicals directly and it gets on their skin and clothes. Over time, this exposure leads to serious health problems and also contaminates the soil and nearby water, harming the environment and essential species like bees.
To ensure that the problem we identified is real and significant, we conducted a survey with 207 participants. About 70% of the respondents agreed that manual spraying is both dangerous and inefficient. We also researched existing medical studies to understand the health impacts. In South India, more than 68% of the farmers who sprayed manually reported symptoms such as eye burning, sore throat, dizziness, and breathing difficulties. In Tamil Nadu, professional sprayers were found to have reduced lung function due to the continuous pesticide inhalation. In Telangana, pesticide exposure was linked to decreased ACHE levels in the blood, which is associated with neurological diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. This data confirms that the problem is not just theoretical, it is a serious widespread and urgently requires a safer alternative.
Before finalizing our solution, we looked at 3 different alternatives that are currently being used or are under development for the pesticide control. We wanted to understand not just what works, but what works for the Indian farmers. Our first alternative was drip fertigation. This system delivers water and fertilizers directly to the plant roots through irrigation pipes. It reduces wastage and chemical exposure. Those studies show that this method does improve yield from up to 12 to 40%. We need to realize that the practicality of this works only for certain crops, such as fruits and vegetables, whereas most of rural Karnataka have crops with large cereal farms. Our second method was autonomous spot spraying robots. These AI-based robots work at the ground level and detect where the spraying is needed. They treat only those areas in particular. Studies have also shown that this reduces chemical usage by 60%, which is quite impressive, but at the same time the barriers are high too. We need to realize that these robots are extremely expensive, they require technical training, and they work on even lands, and most of Indian farms do not have that. Keeping these parameters in our mind, we came up with our final solution, which was aerial drone spraying.
One second. Our solution is an aerial agricultural spraying drone system designed specifically for Indian farmers. It is a precision spraying platform that makes pesticide and fertilizer application safe, fast, and most uniform. The drone carries a spray tank and uses a calibrated atomized nozzle to ensure accurate spraying, and it also reduces chemical drag. It follows GPS-guided flight paths in a grid pattern, maintaining a fixed height and speed so that there is consistent coverage of the whole farm. Farmers simply mark their farm boundaries and then the drone sprays autonomously. There is no manual flying or any work to be done by the farmer after this. Now, we come to advantages. Go back. Okay. Speed. Go back once. First of all, speed. Work that normally would take 1 to 2 days to be done by hand can be done in just an hour. Efficiency. Uniform spraying can reduce chemical use by up to 70%. This leads to lowering costs and also protecting our soil health. And lastly, the safety of our farmers' health. Farmers stay at a safe distance, avoiding harmful chemical exposure. Our project, go next. Our project is scalable and accessible. Farmers can rent the drone instead of spending money to buy the drone as a whole and spend so much of a high capital. So they can rent drones using cooperatives or FPO networks. And even small farm landowners can benefit without actually needing to buy the drone as itself. Lastly, it's future ready. With AI integration, the drone can later detect crop stress, identify pests, and adjust spray levels where needed, making spraying smarter and faster. In short, this is not just a drone, It's a health protecting, cost saving and sustainable agricultural upgrade for the future.
A proof of concept focuses on developing autonomous crop dusting drone capable of autonomously navigating the farm and spraying fertilizers and pesticides with precision. We will test this with small size farms in Karnataka, where traditional spraying is still very common. This allows us to work closely with the farmers, gather feedback and refine our system to better suit the local crops and their needs. To build this prototype, we will be using a drone structure equipped with a flight controller, GPS, several brushless motors, a spray module, and the intelligence of the system will be coming from either a Raspberry Pi or a NVIDIA Jetson Nano, handling the computer vision and the pathfinding functionalities. Our work follows a structured 6-month program. Month 1, we will be taking upon surveys and getting to know the problem better with the farmers. Month 2 and 3, we will be sourcing our hardware, assembling it, and developing core software. Month 4, we will be having controlled testing and safety calibrations. Month 5, we will scale our field trials. And in month 6, we will focus on evaluation and expansion of this project.
By the end of this project, we will deliver a fully functional autonomous spraying drone tested on real field conditions. Along with it, we will provide clear operational guidelines so that farmers can use it confidently. Along with this, we will provide a scaling and commercialization roadmap to take AgriFly beyond the pilot phase. We will evaluate success based on 4 key metrics. First, an improved coverage efficiency, meaning faster and more uniform spraying across fields. Second, a reduction in chemical usage, helping farmers save on costs and protection of the soil. Third, a noticeable decrease in manual labor dependency, addressing labor shortages and farmer fatigue. And finally, positive farmer feedback, because the true measure of impact is acceptance and usability. With these deliverables and outcomes, AgriFly isn't just a concept. It becomes a field-ready solution that can genuinely transform how farming is practiced. Thank you.
In conclusion, AgriFly uses modern technology to solve a real and serious problem in Indian agriculture. It protects farmers, promotes sustainability, and improves efficiency. With continued development and support, this solution has the potential to improve farming practices across the country. We also have a video which visually communicates the solution, our solution.
I do it manually, and you can do it automatically. It's automatic due to its AI pathfinding systems that allow for even spreading of nutrients. But, sir, Natha didn't answer that. We have a rental system, sir, so that I mean people like you can afford them as well. Oh, that. Vale idea.
We'll go on, we'll go on.
Well done. Well done, Team Agrifly. Yeah, special mention. That video was very enjoyable. So great job on that. Where can I buy the solution? Yeah, I'm convinced now. Anyway, so good job and nice teamwork. And I can see there's a lot of effort that went into this project. There was a question that I had, and there was a mention of a survey that was conducted covering some 270 people. So can someone tell me a little more about this survey? Who was surveyed and what did you all find?
Okay, so survey was mostly conducted. We had links, we had Google Forms, we sent it around different groups. We had our family members who works in the farms, and a few of them were also from the general public who would have a decent idea of what farming is. And most of them were filled by farmers who were our family members.
But it was also, the majority was our school members. But what he's trying to say is we also had a margin of actual farmers who looked at our farm and answered questions.
If your solution works out, and I hope it does, will it have an impact on joblessness among some farmers at least? And should you think about that as part of your solution?
Okay, so I think in the farming sector, there's not a lot of actual getting labor to your farm. It's mostly the farmer himself who's doing the work. And we thought to shorten the amount of work he has to do every day. As we know, our Indian farmers are tired. So we thought we can reduce a little bit of bondage over him, and we can have this drone do that little bit more for him, instead of having him do all the work. So I don't think there'd be an issue of joblessness, because already people aren't going to the farms and helping out. So that's our answer.
You realize solutions of this kind exist?
Yeah, we are aware that solutions already exist. So what we thought was, our idea was to localize it. So we don't think farmers can buy the drone as itself. So we plan to set up a rental system where they can pay for certain, like a week or how much of a time they want to use it, and they can pay a smaller amount, because we know that they can't afford such a huge capital. And also it's automated. Most of the other solutions are controlled. Yeah, we have Karnatikas in our team. we all done.
Thank you, Team 4, for that enjoyable presentation. I would now like to invite Team 12 on stage to present their solutions on the topics chosen by them.
Stand in the light.
We're really sorry for the delay. We're just checking whether the clicker thing for the presentation works. Thank you. All right, so a very good afternoon to everyone who's present here today. We're Team 12 or Sayonara of the Social Innovation Lab 2025, and my name is Rachel Palman.
I'm Fiza.
I'm Deep.
I'm Tanishk.
I'm Mahi. I'm Lavina.
And we're Team 12. Our topic is water pollution. It's, various causes, and we also came up with solutions. We'll be talking specifically about a bacterium called Ideanella sarkiensis, and we'll also be touching upon the topic of bioplastics. So you might be wondering, why did we choose such a stereotypical topic when it comes to sustainability?
We chose this topic because in Bangalore, our home city, it was famous for the beautiful lakes. But now we often see our lakes covered in piles of garbage. And this isn't just a distant problem, it affects us directly, our health, our environment and our future. That's why we picked water pollution in India as our topic. We want to understand the root cause of these problems and how solutions like tiny microbes can break down plastics and how we can stop big oil spills and chemical leaks and how our new bioplastics can help. These aren't just big national issues, they're solutions that can help us clean our own backyard in Bangalore, and we can protect our future. It's a problem we see and we want to be part of the solution.
This is a quote by Greta Thunberg that we think is extremely relatable for the youth of today. By looking at this, I think you all can understand why we chose this topic. I would like to call upon the next speaker to continue to explain.
So as a part of our project, we had an interview and we interviewed several 11th graders, and what we discovered was most of them rated knowledge on water pollution just a 3 out of 5. This shows that there is awareness, but it's still limited.
When we asked teachers, they pointed out that it can start with something as tiny as plastic milk packets and spiral with urbanization and overpopulation. They suggested that change needs to begin at the root level, that is in villages where people still bathe and wash clothes in river water.
Moreover, from our real-life interviews, it was clear that most of the people remain indifferent to serious situations and serious issues like global warming, climate change, waterborne diseases, and their impact on marine life. Now we move on to the stats.
I want to draw your attention to an issue that affects millions of lives across our country, the quality of our water. It is estimated that nearly 70% of India's surface water is unfit for consumption. In cities, about 45% of homes rely on untreated sources, and in rural areas, the numbers climb up to 66%. Contaminated water harms our health, affects economy and daily lives. Access to clean, safe drinking water is not a privilege. It's a necessity for a healthy, strong and resilient India.
India has become a major player in the world's plastic pollution crisis. Every year, the country produces about 9.3 million tons of plastic waste, and amongst this, 3.5 million tons ends up polluting the environment. With nearly 1/5 of the world's plastic waste coming from India, the challenge is clear. The nation's rapid growth now needs to be matched with stronger efforts to manage its plastic footprint.
Speaking of health hazards now,
In the last 100 years, the amount of plastic in human bodies have increased significantly. In the 1920s, when mass production of plastic started, the exposure of plastic was almost zero. Now, microplastics are everywhere, not in just the environment or even in our bodies, from our blood, brains to even the placenta of the human child. Though the exact amount of plastic is not known, study says that humans consume about 6 grams of plastic every single week.
In almost 80% of blood samples, microplastics have been found. It has also been found in the brain in areas associated with dementia. Also been found in the heart for people undergoing cardiac surgery, in the reproductive system of men, and the placenta of human beings.
Right. So, one thing that I briefly want to mention is coral bleaching, which is an issue a lot of you might have heard about. So, hot water and industrial effluents can cause great harm to the ocean and to marine life. Something that's happened recently is that coral have lost the algae that gives them color and energy, which is causing their widespread decline. With this concerning information in mind, let us move on to the next topic.
We would like to bring some light on one of the plans implemented by our government that did not quite fully span out. The Namami Gange plan aimed for two major things. One was the effective abatement of pollution, and second was the rejuvenation and conservation of our national river Ganga.
But despite its strong vision, the funds set aside for this program have been underutilized almost every year. And lack of coordination between the central, state and local governments has led to neglect and overlapping of schemes. This has led to the this has slowed down the progress of the mission and left its full potential unrealized.
Now, we move on to the 3 solutions that we decided. So, one of them is for oil pollution, one of them is for chemical effluent, and one of them is for the physical plastic that is in our water bodies. With that, let us begin.
So starting off with MBBR solution, MBBR or moving bed biofilm reactor is a modern biological wastewater treatment where small plastic carriers are put into a tank. These tanks, when submerged, give a large surface area for microorganisms to grow. These microorganisms are then turned to biofilm, and biofilm is further breaks down pollutants effectively and efficiently. There are a few advantages of this, that it is highly efficient, to 90% of wastewater is treated. There are also its downsides where it's an expensive process to set up and it needs a lot of monitoring. But we can also overcome these disadvantages by improving the reactor design.
The second solution that we thought of was magnetic nanoparticles for oil spills. Scientists have developed an innovative new way to extract and recover oil from water using these nanoparticles. The technique relies on silica-coated magnetic nanoparticles that have a hydrophobic layer which attracts oil and repels water. When placed into water contaminated with oil, the oil is attached to the nanoparticle and then switched to a recovery mode, allowing the oil to be recovered using magnets. The advantages for this method is that it's fast, it's effective, and it's extremely reusable. The nanoparticles are capable of recovering over 95% of oil that has been spilled, whereas traditional methods waste a substantial amount of oil.
PET plastic or polyethylene tetraphtate is the most common thermoplastic of the polyester family. It's used in various cases such as packaging materials, bottled water, as well as wrappers for food. And it is one of the major causes of water pollution. Keeping this in mind, I would like to introduce you all to one of our major solutions, Idenella saccaiensis. First discovered in Japan in 2016, this bacterium can literally eat plastic. It produces unique enzymes, petase and metase, that break down the strong chemical bonds in PET plastic, and convert them into simpler, smaller molecules. One of the major advantages of this process is the fact that these small molecules can be used to create new, higher quality plastics. This serves as a good alternative to traditional recycling, which is highly energy intensive. Also, this will reduce our dependence on fossil fuels.
However, these are the disadvantages of iodine elastokinesis. The degradation process under iodine elastokinesis takes weeks, which makes it impractical for the massive scale of global plastic waste, especially on PET. It does not degrade all kinds of plastics, which right now in our modern age, plastic is like a blend of different polymers, not just PET. So this is a major disadvantage. So how do we plan to overcome these disadvantages? We plan to overcome these disadvantages by conducting research which is focused on genetic engineering of the enzymes, that is PETase, increase the degradation speed, broaden the range of plastics that can be targeted, and improve efficiency in varied environments. By doing this, we can help overcome scalability and all the speed limitations.
So bioplastics. Now what are bioplastics? Bioplastics are environmental friendly plastics which are derived from biological materials such as starch, cellulose or plant-based polymers rather than using any sort of fossil fuel such as petroleum.
So you might be wondering why we're talking about bioplastics all of a sudden. See, the thing is, while iodine elastokinesis is an extremely promising solution, there are a large amount of research that must be conducted before we can start talking about using iodine elastokinesis. Because of this, we decided to talk about the preventative measure, that is bioplastics. So we explained what bioplastics are, and we think that it's an easily implementable solution compared to a bunch of other things that we just spoke about. With this, let's talk about our implementation plan.
We have an implementation plan for bioplastics that can be accomplished within 6 months minimum. In the first month, we will engage with key stakeholders such as MLAs, officials and investors to secure essential funding. We will then present the proposal to the local youth and gather feedback, initiating large-scale government petitions.
How do we plan to contact these MLAs? Well, the contact information of MLAs are already available online. We will look at official legislative websites and contact them through email and request them to assist us.
In the second and third month, we will test product viability, source raw materials, recruit skilled personnel. We will focus on using biodegradable material and optimizing energy usage. We will monitor all stages, keep refining and optimizing our methods, increase output and reduce waste in the fourth and fifth month. In the sixth month, we will collaborate with local vendors, focus on distribution, gather feedback, and make necessary changes.
And that marks the end of our conclusion. Thank you all for your patient listening, and we're now open to any questions that the judges might have.
So I just want to clarify, your solution really is bioplastics. I mean, that was the final conclusion because you went through many solutions.
Yes, sir, that was our final conclusion.
So you spoke about magnetic nanoparticles, NBBR, and I think there was one more, the third one.
The bacteria.
The bacteria. So all of these are existing solutions, and then your bioplastics was kind of your idea. Was that accurate?
Thank you for your question, sir. So basically, our solutions range from a variety of things. So MBBR technology is something that has already been implemented in India in states such as Telangana, whereas magnetic nanoparticles is something that's currently in study and testing. And iodine elastokinesis, as my friend Aryan said, is something that was recently discovered in 2016. So while studies are still still going on, they haven't still been implemented, which is why we talked about its implementability potential. And we believe that bioplastic is something that can be implemented much more easily and in the very near future. So that's why we talked about that for our implementation plan.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Team 12, for the wonderful presentation. Before we move on to the next presentation, this is a small note for the audience seated here. If you have any questions to ask the teams presenting, kindly reserve all your questions till the end. We will be having a small question answer session. And for the next two teams that are presenting, please make sure to give Vadot, who is sitting over there, audio cues because the sign cues are a little hard to understand. Thank you. I would now like to invite Team 13 on stage to present their solutions on the topics chosen by them.
One minute. Are the mics on? The mics are on. The mics are on.
Hello.
Second there.
Please keep
the mic here.
I'll
Turn it off. Next step. Little bit. According to other, they won't each other. There's no audio. Go back.
ऑडियो
Tell him to pause, da.
पॉज करने वो है
पॉज करने के लिए तो बोल.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
Good afternoon to one and all present here, esteemed judges, teachers, and my fellow Josephites. It's a pleasure to be standing before you all today. We 7 clueless people have found a solution to beat the main villain, plastic. We are Team Eco-Doris. But wait, what exactly is Eco-Doris? Eco, which means the environment, and Doris, which simply means a gift. To put it all together, Eco-Doris means a gift from the nature. But before we talk about the main solution, let's meet the villain. Now Daksh will elaborate on the problem.
Plastic's been around for 500 years and honestly is the most overachieving villain ever. Durable,
check.
Waterproof,
check.
500, still ruining things after 500 years.
Double check.
Plastic's cheap, convenient and everywhere. It was made to make our life convenient, but it's choking our planet Earth. Now I'll say some stats about plastic. Every single minute a truckload of plastic waste is dumped into the ocean. 1 million animals and seabirds die due to plastic. 220 plus tons of plastic is generated every year, and 91% of plastic is not recycled and gets piled up. Microplastics cause various diseases to humans and animals. Now there will be a video.
Getting here wasn't smooth. We researched a lot about other options and they failed to become our main hero because bioplastic, which is often competed with food crops and is almost like regular plastic because it releases harmful emissions. Seaweed. Seaweed grows in oceans and therefore its harvesting can have impact on marine ecosystem. Coconut shells. They are hard and are not flexible to suit for modern packaging needs and also has impact on the food if stored for a long duration. Arachidnut leaves. They are seasonal and only available in certain regions and limiting on large-scale production. Next, my friend Gautam will explain about our main solution.
We choose mycelium as a main preference. Have you heard anything about mycelium? A real hero. Mycelium is the vegetative part of the fungus, a network of branching thread-like filaments called hyphae. It grows in and on the soil. Mycelium was not discovered. It was revealed through fossil evidence 700 to 800 million years ago. It was coined in 1880s, but its commercial application was emerged in 1990. We couldn't fight plastic alone, so we called for backup, and nature literally answered the call. Mycelium packaging. If I had to talk about mycelium packaging, it is an alternative for plastic packaging. It grows, it is done by the root structure of the mushroom, which is natural, strong, completely biodegradable, and alternative to materials like plastics. Mycelium grows by binding together agricultural waste, which forms a material that fights with the main villain, plastic. Minimize the pollution, minimize the guilt. Before watching the video, before going to the benefits and limitations on mycelium, let us see 2 videos.
Benefits of mycelium. Mycelium is biodegradable, eco-friendly and water resistant. It can be grown into any shape or mold. It's a strong, sturdy and lightweight material. It has an aesthetic look, modern texture and finish. It's non-toxic, it's a natural fire resistant and absorbs carbon readily. It can be made out of agricultural waste and lasts up to 4 months before degrading. Fungus is abundant in nature, therefore mycelium can be easily cultivated. One more interesting fact about mycelium is there is no tax on it, but there is 18% on plastic packaging. It's expensive, it's moisture sensitive, it has a limited awareness, and has a low design flexibility. Now, my friend Bhavish will elaborate on the project implementation plan.
Here's how we implemented our project. Firstly, we started by researching our options, which are bioplastic, mycelium, areca nut leaf, and coconut shell. Due to some benefits of mycelium over the others and lack of awareness about it, made us choose mycelium as a main hero. Next, we conducted surveys to find out how much people knew about the menace of plastic pollution. We interviewed random people and we even prepared a Google form for the same. And here are the answers for some of the answers. Here are some of the answers we got. Everyone knew about how much everyone knew how much plastic is. Everyone knew about the harmful effect of plastic, and many of them even knew the alternative for it. But unfortunately, they do not know how to completely replace plastic. So we, Team EcoDoris, are here to bring about a real change. Another interesting fact is that many of them are okay with paying more for mycelium than plastic, as they believe it will become the mainstream choice in the next 10 years. So then, with the knowledge we gathered till this point, we made an attempt to make a DIY of mycelium packaging. Our first step was to prepare the substrate. So we gathered all these raw materials required: sawdust, coconut coir, shredded paper, and flour. We mixed all of these with water and boiled it for a few while. Then we covered it and kept it aside for a day to cool down. Next, we added mycelium spawn, which results in mycelium. But unfortunately, we failed in making this DIY due to the improper quality of mycelium spawn and lack of time. But this did not demotivate us. This gave us deeper insights about mycelium's growth and made us more curious to learn about it, which helped us in making a prototype with the CEOs of the companies Shroomin and Mushloop. Here is the example of one prototype. This is the prototype we made with the CEOs, which is a sample of it. Now, let us watch a video of our team making the prototype. Now, Devam will talk about the future of EcoDoris.
Future of EcoDoris. We want to start a project from Bengaluru and later expand it to all across the world. The aim is to bring a change which can happen only through awareness. Our initial focus will be on small stalls, local schools and food carts. We also aim to collaborate with industries, schools, organizations like NGOs to replace plastic with eco-friendly alternatives. In coming years, we also plan to develop stronger, more water-resistant and cost-effective mycelium products that can compete with plastic in everyday use. EcoDoris also helps to inspire the young innovators and create a network of change makers who believe that nature and innovation can grow together. Our ultimate goal is to make EcoDoris a symbol of plastic-free future, starting small but growing naturally, just like the mycelium itself. Now we'll show you all a video of our team journey.
To conclude, from 7 clueless people to one united vision, EcoDoris has been more than just a project. It's been a promise.
A promise to fight the villain, not with words, but with action and awareness.
Our journey began with endless sessions, researching crazy ideas and a half-broken Google search bar. The long nights of brainstorming, researches and fun where we not only learned a lot about ego-dorus.
Every failure taught us something new. As someone once said, I didn't make 1,000 mistakes, but I learned 1,000 new steps before succeeding. We discovered that real change starts small, sometimes from a fungus.
Meeting and interacting with the CEOs in this sustainability field gave us new direction and hopes. They told us that innovation isn't just about the product, it's about the patience, purpose, innovation and the change it creates. Their views helped us make ego-dorus into more than a project and a better version of itself.
Through every challenge, one thing stayed constant, our teamwork. We fought, we disagreed, but we always found our way back together. All the challenges just made us stronger together.
Our journey isn't over. This is just the trailer of what ego-dorus stands for. Innovation that's kind, progress that's green, and a future that's truly sustainable.
The villain may be strong, but picture abhi baki hai mere dost.
Thank you for that high energy presentation. We loved it. I noticed one slide which had a whole list of limitations for your mycelium idea. Given all those limitations, what can really be used? What is the use case here? Because you can't store water, milk, because you said that moisture affects it. So where is the use?
So we only told that there's a few disadvantages. Firstly, it's moisture sensitive, yes, but if we add beeswax to it, it becomes normal and we can use it for perishable items as well.
The use case for it also can be like to store perfume bottles and a replacement for thermocol essentially. And it's actually better than thermocol, that's why.
So if let's say, Mr. Ramaswamy steps up now and tells you guys he's willing to fund the project, he's an investor, right? How many of you will sign up for it? Raise your hand. You're not very convinced, are you? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team 13, for the lively presentation. Also, a gentle reminder to the audience to kindly maintain silence while the presentations are going on. I would now like to invite Team 15 on stage to present their solutions on the topics chosen by them.
Could Daksh from 11D kindly step out? Daksh from 11D. Okay, no.
This is a modern day phone, and this is a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? car from modern day. And this is a car from 150 years ago. Huge difference, right? But take a look at this. Something really surprising. This is a modern day classroom. And this is a classroom from 150 years ago. Isn't that a shame? Literally over a century, there's been no difference. And yet we are promised that we are preparing for the future. Look at this man. His name is Horace Mann. He is the inventor of the kindergarten to the 12th grade schooling system. His idea was to create school as a place wherein there would be preparation for factories. That's why we have in classrooms students sitting in straight desks, working like factory workers every single day. Looking at this concerning issue, we decided, Team 15, to create the Eco Neuro Lab. Here, we over a span of 5 months created a classroom design where learning is learning and not just studying. So we, in order to get a clarity over the subject, we surveyed a few people, and the students of class 11 and 12 answered. Here are a few answers from this. Some said there are uncomfortable benches. Some said probably the uncomfortable seating. Some said, they don't look pleasing to the eye because it's just plain old boring colors and it looks like a typical Indian classroom. Some said the walls are plain and simple, simple and decent, decent and plain. So are we just here to settle for something which is decent? My teammates will now further elaborate over the top.
When you really think about it, have you ever noticed that our classrooms sometimes test more of our patience?
Can't hear.
You can't hear? Okay. This. Oh. Sorry about that. When we really think about it, have you ever noticed that classrooms sometimes test more of our patience than our potential? Digital learning was supposed to make things easier, but now our attention span barely lasts a few minutes. And those fixed seats, they look neat and organized, but after a while, it feels like creativity is stuck somewhere between those perfectly lined desks. When students only sit and listen, curiosity quietly fades in the back. Learning becomes something we do, not something we enjoy. Then there's the crowd, overcrowded classrooms, constant noise, and barely enough space to think. Sure, it's fun, but sometimes it's hard to stay focused when your mind is trying to find just a little peace. And of course, the endless tests and evaluations, they turn learning into a race rather than a journey. Even the classroom itself doesn't help. Dull walls, harsh lighting, nothing that really inspires you to dream big. And that's our real problem. Our classrooms were built to teach, but somewhere along the way, they forgot to inspire. And that's exactly where our idea, the Eco Neuro Lab, steps in.
Now, research shows that learning is not just passive. It is experiential and neurological. That is exactly where the Eco Neuro Lab comes in. Now, this is not just a solution to a pre-existing problem. Rather, it proposes a shift in philosophy, one that deals with learning and teaching methods. Now, we'd like to explain some of the main design elements of the Eco Neuro Lab. Can I have the next slide, please? So the first element is the circadian tuned lighting system. Now, our body has an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This is impacted very much by lighting. So what we intend to do is install circadian tuned lighting systems in various classes, such that in the mornings we can have a cool tone or a blue light, which in turn balances the brain's production of cortisol that is related to attentiveness and focus. We would shift to more of a warmer or an orange shade of color towards the afternoon, which balances the melatonin in the body and again helps in memory and retention. Next slide. So this topic right here, it is often overlooked, but people don't understand that a small change in the color of the classroom or the neuro-based example, in this table, we essentially written that if we have to design a classroom, we'll use a layout of warm yellows and neutral tones, but we could use strategic accents of greens and blues so that you can divert the focus in certain areas of the classroom. Next slide. This is a rather important point. So this uses flexible and adaptive furniture. So in a normal classroom seating, you have rows where people are just seated in one position and there's not really flexibility. What we propose is to have a circular arrangement so that each person gets equal amount of focus and attention. Moreover, if we use flexible furniture, the mind it will stay alert and not restricted to a single position. Next up, we are going to continue the points.
I'm sure we all had those days when the classroom feels too noisy, crowded, or just dull, right? And no matter what we do, we just can't concentrate. That's because our body releases a stress chemical called as cortisol. That's what makes us anxious, restless, and even forgetful, especially during exams. Too much stress also affects the hippocampus. That's the part of the brain that helps us remember what we study. Eco-neuro classrooms fix that by using calm colors, natural light, spacious layouts, and other sensory-rich designs that stimulate the visual cortex, which makes our brain feel more relaxed and not overstimulated. And honestly, who wouldn't prefer studying in a calm space with a little bit of greenery or creative visuals instead of plain walls? Research shows that these kinds of balanced environments help students stay focused for long and think more clearly.
This slide shows the pilot configuration. We are planning a partial retrofit of the classroom. That means movable desk, ergonomic seating, some plants and biophilic elements, adjustable LED lighting, and CO2 monitoring to improve comfort and focus. There are few key dependencies. We need to finish procurement before the redesign, complete the redesign before the pilot starts, and run the pilot before we collect the final data. Throughout the process, we'll keep taking feedback from teachers and mentors. We'll wrap up with the final proof of concept report and presentation. The timeline is divided into phases. Weeks 1 to 4 for baseline surveys and rearranging the furniture. Weeks 9 to 12 for our first lab cycle with team building and prototyping. And finally, weeks 17 to 20 for the showcase and post-survey.
So how do we know eco-neural classrooms actually work? Well, the evidence is clear. Studies show that classrooms with indoor plants and natural elements reduce stress by about 37% and improve working memory by 20%. But here's the worrying part. High carbon dioxide levels in closed classrooms can reduce decision-making abilities by 21%. This means poor air quality can literally slow down how students think and respond. That is why eco-neural labs focus on 3 smart solutions. Number 1, biophilic design, which means adding natural elements like plants, sunlight, and organic textures. Number 2, carbon dioxide monitoring, to maintain healthy air and alert teachers when ventilation is needed. And number 3, better ventilation systems to keep oxygen levels and students' minds active. And these are not just ideas on papers. Countries like Finland, Japan, and Denmark are already proving this works. In Finland, schools use outdoor learning to reduce stress and improve attention. In Japan, neuroscience-based teaching supports students' mental health. And in Denmark, better air systems have led to improved focus and fewer classroom errors. So it's clear, eco-neural labs aren't a luxury, but are rather scientifically a proven need. Our project has demonstrated a critical intersection between the natural and built environment and the human brain and behavior. Environmental neuroscience provides a powerful lens through which we understand how factors like green space exposure, noise pollution, and indoor air quality profoundly impact our cognitive function, emotional regulation, and overall well-being. Ultimately, understanding this connection empowers us to advocate for greener cities and healthier indoor environments. Our brains are not just in the environment, they are of it. So let us build a world that is not just sustainable for the planet, but restorative for the mind. After all, a healthier environment makes for a smarter and happier brain. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Awesome. So if I was to take one of the classrooms in Joseph's here and convert it, how much would it cost me?
So can we go on to a slide? I think it's the one after flexible furniture. Yeah, the next one. Yes. So this is basically the table where we have put in the costs. So the color scheme. So the first one is for just modular furniture, and so each desk may cost 6,000, and into like how many ever chairs we need. So we will also be focusing on student to teacher ratio because we cannot overcrowd the classroom as well. So a limited number of students but equal attentiveness. The lighting system and the cost, so 12 panels, but we can always reduce it depending upon the amount of sunlight or natural light that is available in each classroom. The plants, well, that could almost be free of cost. If each student can contribute, that will also make a big difference. And the color scheme, it's the same cost as that we use for the normal paint. So,
what's the total?
The total... It's almost two and a half lakhs.
Per classroom,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Team 15, for that insightful presentation. We have now arrived at the end of the presentations. A huge round of applause for all the teams that presented today. We will now be beginning with the question-answer session. Teams, please maintain a respectful tone while questioning the other teams. Thank you.
Okay, can I please have the first team that presented to stand up? Okay, do you have any questions? The other teams for team 1, right? Anyone with any questions for team 1? Yeah, yes, Carlton?
Hi, team 1, right? Great presentation, thank you so much. One question I had regarding your thrift app, which was, I think, one of the solutions you guys had offered. A very similar app to that is OLX and Flipkart Mart, which basically, passes on second-hand products to, well, other businesses and all that. So, is your thrift app any different from that, or is it the same concept?
Well, firstly, it's...
Pass to anyone else.
So the platform primarily, all of the platforms are geared for higher order value compared to the different platforms. Clothes, for example, OLX, you can buy bikes, you can buy washing machines. The order value is higher. In clothes, the delivery costs would basically our platform is geared towards clothing and low order value items. Also, the thing is, most of us wouldn't be aware of thrifting. Our platform has changed that by appealing to the younger generation and making it more intuitive and easier to buy it. And basically, also the delivery platforms, we are increasing accessibility, and also the way we are delivering stuff, the logistics of it is different by integrating peer-to-peer delivery and other methods to make it, in essence, OLX is focused on profit. We are focused on sustainability. That's the key difference.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, I got your point. So, but the logistics of all of this operation and the fact that you said that you aren't looking for profit, the logistics of the operation are going to be very difficult because, well, all of these businesses as like Flipkart or OLX, they depend a lot on, logistics. And if you're not getting your, well, I have to say cash out of it.
Well, I didn't mention we aren't not getting profits. I
No,
said
could you let me finish, please? Yeah. So the question is, how are you planning to sustain the operation provided that there is no way of assuring us ensured stream of money into the operation?
Well, what I said is our primary focus is not profits. I didn't mention that we aren't gaining profits from this enterprise. We are gaining profits, but we are trying to focus more on sustainability aspect than trying to maximize shareholder value. We are trying to focus on sustainability, not that we are not. It's not charity.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else for the same? Yes. After this question, we will move on to the second team which presented.
Okay, so the clothes being made out of hemp solves the problem that it's now eco-friendly, which I mean technically would also make it expensive. But how does this solve the problem of high fashion? Because people are still going to keep discarding clothes.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Okay, so mainly, well, the first thing was awareness building. So hemp, what you're providing with hemp is higher quality clothes and also it's not more expensive. Because now the clothes that you find on that are based on hemp have been mapped out heavily. The cost to make those clothes are very similar to cotton clothes. So the cost will be higher, so I'm missing one of those points. Secondly, you mentioned that word change the fact. That's the thing, our approach is three-pronged. It has three parts. The first part is awareness building. Second part is offering sustainable clothing alternatives. And third part is encouraging reuse and thrifting. All of those work hand in hand. They are not individual solutions to the problem. All of these problems address the solution together.
Okay, thank you, team 1. We will move on to the next team, please. The second team is presented. Next team. Next team.
Yeah, just pass on the mic.
Okay, so the first one here.
There you go.
Hey guys, a great presentation. So farmers run on razor thin margins. So this is a report from the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. So I have resources. Nearly 95% of farmers can't afford drones, no matter the price. So you're capturing 5% of the market. Now, in this 5% of the market, there are already 8 competitors, right? So your main competitor is IFFCO Kisan Drone Spray Service. Can I just know your price per acre?
I don't think we have a price per acre. We don't have it.
Average price?
Average price say in the range of what? At least a lakh, 2 lakhs?
Per? Wait.
You're saying the robot itself, the drone.
So is there a rental service or are you letting them? Okay.
We have both options available. The lakhs he spoke about is to buy the drone entirely. So that 5% you mentioned, remember? So if you listen to the end of my presentation, right, I spoke about a rental system. So I'm pretty sure the rest of the farmers who cannot afford a drone by itself can pay for the rental system.
What is your price?
Yeah, we're still working on that. We haven't
So no price?
It's been 5 months later.
Okay, so I just want to know your competition charges 300 rupees per acre.
Okay, no cross questions, please. One question only. Answer the question and we'll move on.
So the final question is, how do you compete with this man? No question?
Okay, thank you for your question. The next question will be, I will recognize 2 more questions. One will be from the team 1.
Okay. So my question is one simple question and one detailing that question. What category are your drones with regards to size? Medium, micro, small, large, medium. Okay, so
one question, please. Only one question.
Can I ask one follow-up?
No, no follow-up.
It's in relation.
Okay, quickly.
Okay, so you realize that attaching an entire chemical sprayer is going to naturally add weight to your drone. So in turn, you're going to need a stronger battery, and in turn, that's going to cost more. And this cycle never ends. How are you going to tackle that?
So yeah, the key is balance. Balance between weight of battery, balance between weight of the sprayer, and power of the motor that controls it.
But in turn,
No follow-up questions.
my bad, sorry.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we will end the questionnaire here today and we will continue tomorrow. So please pass the mics. We will end the questionnaire today.
That's all. That's all.
I'd like everyone to please maintain silence. So we have tallied the scores and these are your presentation winners. But before that, I would like to thank each and every single one of you for participating. It was truly an honor to watch all of you present. Thank you so much to the judges for giving them our time and effort. So, okay. In second place, we have Team 15. That's Eco Neuro Labs. Team 15. You guys can stand up. Congratulations. And first place, this is solely for the presentations, is Team 13. Congratulations. I would like to invite Rachel to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. A very good afternoon to one and all present here today. I, Rachel Palman, stand before you all here, honored. Firstly, to be delivering the vote of thanks and to have been a part of such an enriching experience, such as the Social Innovation Lab. From its humble beginnings up till today, the Social Innovation Lab has remained an educative and fulfilling experience for a number of curious Josephites. This year's edition was no less, a whirlwind of last-minute calls, inside jokes, research, and a newfound love for learning. We sincerely thank the management for providing us with this opportunity. We thank our principal, Father Norwin Pereira, SJ, Vice Principal, Mr. Brian McCurtish, Primary School Administrator, Father Paul Anand, SJ, and of course, the OBA and PTA for their endless support. We extend our deepest gratitude towards the Social Innovation Lab Team 2025, Ms. Vasilia Alphonse, Mr. Robin Kolako, Mrs. Jacqueline Bernard, Mrs. Sanjana Krishil, and Ms. Krishali Singhani. without whom the planning and execution of this elaborate process of the Social Innovation Lab would have been simply impossible. I would be remiss in not mentioning the efforts of our teachers, wonderful student coordinators, and of course our admin and support staff. Last but not least, a huge thank you to everyone who participated and made this year's Social Innovation Lab a success. We hope that you will take the knowledge you have gained over these past few months into the years of your life to come. Thank you for your time, and remember, curious minds are the most powerful force for change. Thank you.